Hi guys, good evening to you all. So today I am planning to study biology, chemical coordination, and integration. I also have this chapter for AIATS 3 that is on upcoming 20th this February. So after that, my biology portion will be over for AITS, and I'm planning to concentrate more on physics because I did terrible in physics this year, neat. So yeah, let us start studying. I'm going to use my forest app. I'm planning to do 50-10 today. That is 50 minutes of studying and 10 minutes of break. So hopefully, yeah. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to start the live session at 7 sharp. Today morning, some technicality issue. I couldn't do it properly. Okay, okay, guys. So let me start the live session. So you all also can start studying with me, and when I'm on break time, you all can ask the questions here. I can answer them in the break time. Okay. So let me mute myself. Hello. Hello. Can anybody tell if I'm mute? Hello. The adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers: zona reticularis inner layer and zona fasciculata, that is middle layer, and zona glomerulosa outer layer. The adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers: zona reticularis inner layer, zona fasciculata middle layer, and zona glomerulosa is outer layer. Reticularis is inner layer, glomerulosa LO outer layer. So adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers. Okay? Zona reticularis RISI for inner layer, zona fasciculata middle layer, and zona glomerulosa LOSAO outer layer. Adrenal cortex can be divided. Okay, so adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called as corticoids. So the hormone secreted by the adrenal cortex is called as corticoids. Glucocorticoids are the hormones. They are glucocorticoids, that is catecholamines. Somebody here. Yeah. Adrenal medulla, two hormones: adrenaline, epinephrine, noradrenaline, norepinephrine, and they are also called as catecholamines. So adrenal medulla hormones are called as catecholamines. They glycogen breakdown of glycogen and stimulates the glucose concentration in the blood, and they also break down lipids of lipids and proteins. Okay, so adrenal cortex secretes many hormones called as corticoids. Catecholamines, medullary hormones. Cortex hormones are corticoids. The corticoids which are involved in carbohydrate metabolism is called as glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoids. So hormone, it is a corticoid, is a hormone produced by the adrenal cortex. Medullary hormones are catecholamines. Okay, so corticoid which is involved in the carbohydrate metabolism is called as glucocorticoids. In our body, the main glucocorticoids is the cortisol. ठीक है. So the corticoids which are involved in carbohydrate metabolism are called as glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoids. Corticoids which regulates the balance of water and electrolytes in our body are called as mineralocorticoids. Water and electrolytes, balance of water and electrolytes. So the corticoids which regulates the balance of water and electrolytes in our body are called as mineralocorticoids. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid in the body. So, medullary hormones, catecholamines, adrenal cortex, corticoids hormone. So, corticoids, glucocorticoids, corticoids involved in carbohydrate metabolism, glucocorticoids. Cortisol is the main glucocorticoids in our body. And corticoids which regulate the balance of water and electrolytes are called as mineralocorticoids. And the main important mineralocorticoids in our body is aldosterone. So, glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis. Glucocorticoids stimulates gluconeogenesis, lipolysis breakdown, and proteolysis, and inhibits cellular uptake and utilization of the amino acids, which inhibits the cellular uptake of glucose and amino acids is glucocorticoids, inhibits the cellular uptake and utilization of the amino acids. Glucocorticoids inhibits the uh, uptake and utilization of the amino acids. Okay, glucocorticoids stimulates gluconeogenesis. ठीक है, lipolysis. ठीक है, proteolysis. ठीक है. So it inhibits the cellular uptake and utilization of the amino acids. Glucocorticoids. Cortisol involved in the maintaining of the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. Cortisol is the main glucocorticoid, right? In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. It is involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. So cortisol, which is the main glucocorticoid in our body, it is involved in maintaining the cardiovascular functions as well as the kidney functions. Okay. Next, glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppress immune response. Glucocorticoids, mainly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses immune response. Okay. Cortisol stimulates RBC production, and cortisol stimulates RBC production. It and also glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis, cellular uptake, and utilization of amino acids. inhibits that glucocorticoids. And cortisol involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, it produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune system. Cortisol stimulates the RBC production. Cortisol हो गया, और now let's study about aldosterone. Aldosterone mainly acts on the tubules, renal tubule, and stimulates reabsorption of Na plus and water and excretion of K plus and phosphate ions. So thus aldosterone helps in maintaining the electrolyte and body fluid volume, osmotic pressure and blood pressure. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are also secreted by the adrenal cortex that play an important role in the role of growth of axial hair, pubic hair, facial hair during puberty. So, androgenic steroids. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are produced by which part of the kidney? It is of the adrenal gland of the kidney. That is our क्या है उसका नाम? Oh shit. Adrenal cortex. Growth of axial hair, pubic hair. Androgenic steroids. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are also produced by the cortex region of the adrenal gland on the which is present on the kidney, and it plays an important role in the growth of axial hair and pubic hair and also the facial hair during puberty. Okay, so cortisol, which is involved in the maintaining cardiovascular system as well as kidney functions. Cardiovascular, C, kidney, C, K, the pronunciation K and C, cardiovascular kidney function. So it will start from C, cortisol. So cortisol is a glucocorticoid which is involved in the maintenance of the cardiovascular system as also the kidney function. Okay, and hormones that stimulates gluconeogenesis is also cortisol, but the catecholamines here stimulate the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in increased concentration of the glucose. That is catecholamines. Catecholamines here increases the glucose concentration by breakdown of glycogen, stimulates gluconeogenesis. That is cortisol. Okay. So again, once let us revise adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal glands, one at the anterior part of each kidney. The gland is composed of two types of tissues. The centrally located tissue is called as adrenal medulla, and outside that lies is called as the adrenal cortex. Under production of the hormones, lower secretion of the hormones by the adrenal cortex alter carbohydrate metabolism, because adrenal cortex cortisol and all is important, right, to metabolism reactions, gluconeogenesis or whatever, cortisol for example. So under production of the hormones by the adrenal cortex alters carbohydrate metabolism, causing acute weakness and fatigue, leading to a disease called Addison's disease. So Addison's disease under production of the cortex hormones andre cortex hormones alters the carbohydrate metabolism, acute weakness and fatigue, leading to a disease called Addison's disease. So Addison's disease under production of the cortex hormones. Graves disease, hyperthyroidism, right? Hypersecretion of the hypersecretion of the thyroid hormone. So hyperthyroidism, Graves disease. Addison's disease under production of the adrenal cortex hormones, that is Addison's disease. Okay. Next, adrenal medulla secretes two hormones, adrenaline, which is also called as epinephrine, and noradrenaline, which is also called as norepinephrine. These hormones are together called as catecholamines. Adrenaline and noradrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind during emergency, and situations are called as emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight. These hormones include increases alertness, pupillary dilation, and piloerection, uh, sweating. Hormones of fight or flight, emergency hormone. Okay? Both the hormone increases the heartbeat, the strength of heart contraction, the rate of respiration. Okay? The catecholamines also stimulates the breakdown of the glycogen, resulting in the increased concentration of the glucose in the blood. Catecholamines stimulates the breakdown of the glycogen, resulting in the increased concentration of the glucose in the blood. In addition, they also stimulates the breakdown of the lipids and proteins. The adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers: zona reticularis, RIS, inside, I for inside; zona fasciculata, middle layer; zona glomerulosa, LOSA, last three words, O for outside, glomerulosa is outer layer. The adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called as corticoids, and the corticoids which are involved in the carbohydrate metabolism are called as glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoids. Corticoids which regulates the balance of the water and electrolytes in our body are called as mineralocorticoids. In our body, aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoid stimulates gluconeogenesis, which and also lipolysis, proteolysis. Glucocorticoid stimulates gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis, and also cortisol. C for cortisol, pronunciation kidney, cardiovascular function. So cortisol is also involved in maintaining of the kidney functions and as well as the cardiovascular functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune response. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune system. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reaction and suppresses the immune system. So, which is the glucocorticoid that suppresses immune system and produces anti-inflammatory reaction? It is cortisol. Is the glucocorticoid, so it suppresses the immune system and provides the anti-inflammatory reactions. Cortisol stimulates RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly at the renal tubules and stimulates the reabsorption of Na plus and water and excretion of K plus and phosphate. So cortisol again RBC production. Aldosterone mainly acts at the renal tubules as in chapter exit and reaction excretory basis we have studied alone. Okay. So cortisol stimulates RBC production. Aldosterone mainly acts at the renal tubules and stimulates reabsorption of Na plus and water and excretion of K plus and phosphate ions. Aldosterone helps in the maintenance of the electrolytes, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, and blood pressure. Aldosterone. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are also secreted by the adrenal cortex, which play a role in the growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during the puberty. Pancreas is a composite gland which acts as both exocrine and endocrine glands. The exocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans, and the endocrine glands consist of that is no. We'll study about later. First, we'll study about exocrine. That's how many time? Oh, time is up. Oh, I'll finish pancreas and then take a break. Pancreas is a composite gland which acts as exocrine and endocrine glands. The endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. There are about 1 to 2 millions of islets of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas, representing only 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissues. The two main types of cells in islets of Langerhans are alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cell secretes a hormone called glucagon, while the beta cell secretes insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and plays an important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose level. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cells, hepatocytes, and stimulates the glycogenolysis. Glycogen lysis. Okay, glucagon is a peptide hormone. See, thyrocalcitonin, thyroid hormone, is a protein hormone. Parathyroid hormone is a peptide hormone. Now, the glucagon is also the peptide hormone. Thymus, the hormone which produced by thymosins, they are also peptide hormone. Glucagons are also peptide hormones. Islets of Langerhans, 1 to 2 million in normal human pancreas, represents only 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissues. The main types of cells in islets of Langerhans are called alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cell secretes a hormone called glucagon, which is a peptide hormone, and beta cells secretes insulin, which is also peptide hormone. Glucagon is a peptide hormone, plays an important role in maintaining the blood glucose level. ठीक है. Glucagon peptide hormone, maintenance of the blood glucose level. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver, hepatocytes, and stimulates glycogenolysis, resulting in the increased blood glucose sugar hyperglycemia. In addition, this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contributes to hyperglycemia. Um, glycogenolysis, breakdown of glycogen into glucose. Glucagon stimulates it. Again, here also increase of glucose. Glucagon also helps in gluconeogenesis, genesis of glucose. So we can say glucose as a hyperglycemic hormone or hyperglycemia, increase in glucose concentration, blood glucose sugar level. In addition, this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contributes to hyperglycemia. Glucagon reduces cellular glucose uptake and utilization. ठीक है, see, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. If glucagon has to be a hyperglycemic hormone, the cellular utilization of the glucose, of course, it should be less because the glucose in the blood should be more. ठीक है, so glucagon reduces the cellular uptake and utilization of the glucose glucagon hormone. So alpha cells of, see, 1 to 2 millions of islets of Langerhans in the pancreas, ठीक है, 1 to 2% of the pancreas it covers, ठीक है. So here alpha cells and beta cells comes under, ठीक है. Alpha cell secretes glucagon, which is a peptide hormone, and beta cell secretes insulin, which is also a peptide hormone. Now remember, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone, which means it increases the glucose concentration in the blood. That means, of course, the cellular uptake and utilization of the glucose must be less. That is what they are telling. It stimulates glycogenolysis, means glycogen lysis breakdown of glycogen breaks down into glucose concentration increase. Again, glucagon stimulates gluconeogenesis, new genesis, production, gluconeogenesis. Again, glucose level is increased. It also reduces cellular uptake and utilization of the glucose, thereby increasing the glucose concentration in the blood. Hence, glucagon is also called as hyperglycemic hormone. So, if a question comes, if glucose is a peptide hormone, what is the answer? Yes, it is a peptide hormone. Next, insulin is a peptide hormone which plays a major role in the regulation of the glucose homeostasis. Glucagon increases the blood glucose level. So, to maintain that homeostasis, insulin is required. Now, what insulin does is it mainly acts on hepatocytes. Hepatocyte cells of hepato means liver cells, and adipocytes, cells of adipose tissues. So insulin mainly acts on hepatocytes and adipocytes and enhances cellular uptake of glucose and utilization. Insulin acts on liver cells, hepatocytes, and adipocytes, and it asks to take the glucose from the blood and utilize it, so to reduce the glucose level in the blood. ठीक है, so there is a rapid movement of glucose from the blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose level. This is hypo, decreased, hyper, increase. Hyperglycemia, glucagon of alpha cells. Hypoglycemia, insulin of the beta cells. Insulin also stimulates conversion of the glucose into glycogen. See, glucose totally, see, उसको क्या करना है, इंसुलिन को ग्लूकोज लेवल को डिक्रीज करना है. Here glycogen, if it is glucose in the blood, if it is converted into glycogen, of course the glucose concentration in the blood will become less ना. ठीक है. So insulin stimulates conversion of the glucose to glycogen. Glycogenesis, formation of glycogen from glucose in order to reduce the blood glucose level. Okay? And the glucose homeostasis in the blood is thus maintained jointly by two, insulin and glucagon. I hope this is understood. And prolonged hyperglycemia leads to a complex disorder called diabetes mellitus. What is diabetes mellitus? prolonged hyperglycemia, diabetes mellitus, associated with the loss of glucose through urine and formation of the harmful compounds known as ketone bodies. Prolonged hyperglycemia, diabetes mellitus, loss of glucose through urine, and also forms harmful compounds known as ketone bodies. Diabetic patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy. So pancreas is done. In this chapter, testis, ovary, hormones, heart, kidney, gastrointestinal tract, and mechanism of hormone action is remaining. We will study that. So while, as you could, if you had seen earlier, the time was already over before only. But I had come under pancreas, so I thought let me complete pancreas and later take break, right? So I was studying continuously by keeping the mic muted. So somebody suggested instead read it out loud so that we can study together. I think this is effective. If this was effective, I think we can continue the series like this. Biology, at least if we discuss and study, will be helpful. Every day one chapter at least like this, so that NCRT we are thorough. And then once we study like this again, if you read sitting at home by your side, within 30 minutes the entire chapter can be done. So I'm planning to do the series like this, only continue like this. So tomorrow morning, if you all are interested, you can listen to the chapter while we both of us can study together. It's like I am also teaching and it retains in my head for a longer time. If you all do not want to listen to me teaching, what you all can do is mute or lower the volume in your system. If it is computer, lower the volume, or if it is your mobile, lower the volume. But people who want to study and finish the syllabus with me, you all can do it. So in the evening, I will do one live session covering one biology chapter. See, physics or chemistry, I cannot teach like this because I do not have iPad or anything to connect to the computer and do it, right? So I can definitely do biology like this. You can open your NCRT and we can read line by line together. Okay, so that we can complete at least one chapter daily, right? So perfectly, like each and every line I'm going to explain. It's like I am also learning and you are also learning. So if you want to listen, you can listen. If you don't want to listen, you can just mute it or reduce the volume, and you can just study on your own, like like what live study with me videos in YouTube, you can say, right? So that is the aim basically. So tomorrow morning, see guys, today morning I was supposed to do a live video, but I don't know, there was some problem in the issue. But I remember mentioning it in the comments. So I tomorrow morning I'm going to do a live session. We will cover another biology chapter. Okay. This ovary test is ovary is remaining. I What is the time now? It is already 7:11, so I have to go out today. So today I'm going to finish the live session a little early, but tomorrow I'm going to do until 8. Okay. So this way, the thing is we can finish chapters together. So tomorrow morning I will start with the new biology chapter. So my aim is to study for AIATS 3, which is on 20th February. So for that chapter is plant kingdom, anatomy of the flowering plants, and neural coordination control, chemical coordination and integration, and locomotion. I finished studying these chapters already, but I think it's better to revise, right? So tomorrow, I think let me start with the anatomy of flowering plants in the morning. So I think that would be beneficial. If you want to listen to me studying, keep your mobiles turned on. Otherwise, you can just lower the volume. Okay, guys, it was great interacting with you all. I hope we succeed this journey together and get into a dream college, whatever that is. And thank you all for coming live with me and studying with me. You all try completing this chapter today. After I come back home from the program that I have to attend, I will complete this chapter. So tomorrow onwards, we'll start with the new chapter. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and meet you all tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So tomorrow to Pakka I'll come online. Okay, if any updates is there, I will mention in the comment of the previous live video. Okay, so for tomorrow's live video, if anything changes is there, I will mention in the today's live video comments. So that is how we can stay connected. Otherwise, I don't have any other options of community tabs because I don't have much subscribers for that. So I'm going to end the stream, guys. Please continue studying. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.